Lights and cameras and everything.
Good morning. It's a lovely Monday morning here in Phoenix. I'm sitting here with Ali Nervous and Tremikas Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are going to be talking about the Phoenix LOC. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they are moving and grooving out here in the valley. We're outside. We're outside enjoying this lovely Phoenix weather, so you might hear some traffic rolling by us. But they're with the Phoenix LOC. And they're going to be talking about some of the initiatives that they have coming up here in the next couple months and what they're doing here in the Valley, what their mission is, what they hope to bring forth here in the community. And let me get to them. Thanks once again for tuning in. I'm Shasta Broadus, Get Covered with Shasta. You can also see me this Friday at Michael's Connect the Dots. We're going to be hosting Roy Tatum, and he's going to be talking about conscious capitalism. So I'll go back and touch on that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and introduce these fellas here who are moving and shaking in the community. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Peace, everybody.
Peace. How are you all doing?
They tuning in. We got some watchers. Hey, Liz. We got Samantha online. A couple friends from San Diego. Charmise. I'm out here in Phoenix making a move, y'all. Y'all need to come out here and see what's going on. But all right, you guys. So I know you guys have been hosting an economic development action planning committee for the last year, pretty much, right? And you guys have another meeting coming up this Wednesday?
Yes. So our economic development committee is rocking and rolling again. We'll be meeting bi-weekly on Wednesdays at Sierra Vista Community Center, 6401 South 16th. So we have a meeting this Wednesday evening at 6, where we're talking about how to circulate the black dollar. How do we support more black-owned businesses, and then what we're really going to start focus on this week is new opportunities, because we know that there's nothing holding us back. We have all the will, the talent, and the resources to make anything a reality that we want to see, whether it's grocery stores, gas stations, anything like that. So we're going to be talking about how do we actually come together and effectively do that.
Actualize.
Yeah, how to actualize it, exactly. So we got some great minds in the room. So I definitely invite anybody out that's passionate and committed about economic development for our community, how to create more jobs, how to just be the solution. So that's Wednesday. That's this coming Wednesday at 6.
So how far have you guys gotten along with the action planning? Where are you guys at on this meeting?
Yeah, so we just started the meetings back up, and then when we were meeting before, that's when we launched our Cash Mob initiative. So we've been doing that for a year now. Have supported businesses all over the valley. So this when we called the meeting, because we've been doing our orientation classes, which we'll talk about. So our orientation class wrapped, and then we had some new individuals to the organization. So then we called back the Economic Development Committee to meet again and start planning again. So the things that came out of this last meeting were, when it comes to circulating the black dollar, there's a challenge of awareness, and there's a challenge of the mindset. So when it comes to awareness, there are resources out there like Arizona Black Pages is one of the best ones, but people don't even know about Arizona Black Pages. So how do we get the word out about that? And then when it comes to the mindset, people like to follow the trend. So how do we make it trendy to buy black? How do we make it? How do we bring that to the front of people's minds to make that conscious decision every single time? So that's what we're working on now is crafting a well thought out and branded message on buying black. We're thinking about creating something called Black Fridays, where each Friday, we focus on buying black every week. So things like that.
Okay.
And then, like I said, on the Cash Mob side, continuing to do that. So we do it monthly, talking about doing it, increasing the frequency of that, and then just continue to take it up, having more structure around it. So we'll continue to push out as those things are fully developed. And then, like I said, if you have an interest in being a part of it, shaping the strategy or implementation, join us. Jump on board.
So mostly what I'm hearing is that the economic development action plan is a lot of mindset shifting.
At the consumer level, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, because we know how much money we spend. I think everybody that's the 1.7 trillion.
Right.
And the numbers going up. We're some of the highest spenders out there. But, I think it's only 1% or 0.1% of that stays in the community. So each percent that we raise that, it's gonna mean more for our community, more jobs for our community, better education for our community, more more resources to fix the problems for ourselves, in our own community. We shouldn't be depending on, this government. We shouldn't be depending on a nonprofit organization. We don't know their agenda. We shouldn't be depending on anybody else. We should be depending on ourselves, and it's easy to do. It's not a handout. We support our own businesses. I mean, we look at all these businesses around. That's exactly how they function. We in here giving our money to them, and they take that money, they funnel it back to their own communities. They build up their schools, they build up their neighborhoods, and then in addition to building up theirs, they come in and take over ours with those same resources and gentrify us out.
That's right.
So that's all it's about. That's all it's about. It's just a mindset shift, and then I say this 1,000 times. It's a sacrifice. It may be a sacrifice. People talking about it may be out of distance. I got to drive further, or it might cost a little bit more. But the thing we don't take into account, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox. The thing we don't take into account is economies of scale. Even from a customer service, I was talking to my mom about this. Even from a customer service standpoint, when you look at businesses like this, they get thousands of customers a day, hundreds of customers a day, and when you do that, you get to spread your costs over a much wider base. So yes, you can have lower prices. And in addition to that, you're getting so many people through the door, you can continue to fine-tune your service. So if somebody has a bad experience, they give you feedback and you're immediately adjusting. A lot of black businesses, because of this, one, because of the stigma about black-owned business, so we already stereotyping a black-owned business before we even walk in the door, just for the simple fact that it's black. Other people in dominant cultures, they won't even go in the door because it's a black-owned business, so they don't have the same opportunity to spread their costs. So just to make ends meet and to make the rent, they have to charge more. They have to have a higher margin. That's right. Same thing with the customer service. So the more I'm convinced that the more that we support our businesses, the more that we do this, the more that we make it a regular thing, the prices are going to come down. The service is going to get better, and we'll see all of those things that we see from from other more mainstream businesses. We'll see those things, but we have to support them first.
That's right. That's right. I was just going to make a little comment. I know that we're talking about black-owned businesses, but do you think there's a stigma when we just outright label it a black-owned business off the bat? Do you think people already have a negative connotation when they hear black-owned business? Because the businesses that we see, we know that they're...
People have a negative connotation as soon as they consider the word black. Whatever comes after that, it's going to be negative. It could be a black-owned business, it could be a black school, it could be a black whatever. It's just anti-blackness is real. Stereotypes are real even within our own community. But from a business standpoint, my thought is... our focus should be exceptional businesses.
That's right.
We need to have the best businesses. Black people need to support them, because that's what we need to do.
That's right.
But we shouldn't over-rely on the black dollar either.
That's right.
We need to focus on being the best business out there and because that's something they do. And they even go as far as to target us. When they put a business out there, they put it right in the liquor stores, the gun stores, the beauty supply stores. We don't own none of them. But they'll put them right in the middle of our neighborhood, right in our neighborhood. They'll market right to. I'll be their marketing strategy.
Well, they know we're gonna go.
There's books about how to sell to black people.
I saw those videos. Those are YouTube videos.
How to sell to the Negro or something like that. So, so we just have to understand, how the system works.
That's right.
And how to utilize what's out there for our own benefit. Because nobody's gonna give us anything.
That's right.
And anybody that does is gonna be strings attached. We see it over and over again.
That's right.
So we have to let all that go and just be serious about doing real business. And
can we talk about how customer service is business? Because we have a lot of slack on, we don't have good customer service, we don't greet our customers, we have a bad attitude, and a lot of our entrepreneurs that go into business, they feel like because they're entrepreneurs, they can just do anything they want. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not going to disagree that business owners have an issue with customer service. I don't think it's a black problem.
No.
I don't think it's a black problem. But the problem is when we go into a black business and we experience that, we forecast that across all black-owned businesses, past, present, and future. And that's the unfair thing.
That's true.
Because when I go into a Mexican restaurant and they treat me like garbage, I don't say I'm never going to eat Mexican food or go to another Mexican restaurant again.
Right.
If I go to McDonald's and if they running out of stuff, I don't go say I'm never going to go to another McDonald's. I don't eat at McDonald's, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So I think that's a challenge. But is there an opportunity for us to, on our march to be the best business owners out there? Mm-hmm. I think there's definitely more. There's always ways to improve. I definitely think there's always ways to improve.
And the surveys are one of them. So all businesses, black owned, not black owned, just businesses in general should have marketing surveys, right? Basically asking us, how are we doing? When we go to different places, they ask us, how do we do? Mm-hmm. And that's something that we should always have within our organizations too.
And that's one of the reasons why. I mean, you got to think about. We don't have to deal with this too much, but you got to think about like our situation is different. Like our situation is just different. It's just culturally different. Like you can't compare us to anybody else. A lot of business owners out there, if nobody hires you, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just start a business.
Dr. Boyce always says it. Start a business.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go through this, you didn't come up in an entrepreneurial family, didn't go to school for business, things like that. So if you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. So some people, it's just things that they don't know, and if nobody tells you, and you're just sitting there like you think you're doing
winging it.
And you're also struggling.
That's right.
You're also stressed out.
That's right.
So what's also critical in addition to all those things is to start early.
That's right.
Is to start early and to start to influence the mindset of our youth about ownership and business and independence.
That's right.
So that's a lot what we're doing with Hustle Phoenix. We're working with Hustle Phoenix to do a program called Empowered. It launched in September. So it's 10-week course. If you don't know anything about Hustle Phoenix, it's a 10-week course, and they're going from top to bottom. And it's what's powerful about it is most of the people in there, I don't think anybody in there went to school or, studied business. Everybody is doing different things, but now they're getting the education that they need to actually run a successful business.
That's right.
So we just have to do more of that. We have to be foundational with it and make sure that the education
for sustainability.
For sustainability.
That's right. That's right.
And start with our youth. So I connected with Sister Sweet. She has an organization, young entrepreneurs, age range from age 10 to 17. So we want to support her, work with what she's doing, and just continue to do it. Just continue to put the work in.
Desmond's saying, and continuous training is not available or known as a needed standard for business operations. So, like continuing education.
Absolutely.
That's something that a lot of people don't realize that they need to continue to do as they're growing.
Changing,
that's right.
New technology, so you got to compete.
What you got to say, Tramikas?
Well, Brother Ali,
he covered it.
He covered it. The only thing I would add to it is just the understanding that the cash mob and the economic development being one of the 9 ministries, economic development or trade and commerce being one of the 9 ministries that are part of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee and the Justice Health Movement. It started out as a push for boycott. Mm-hmm. And what we said was, we have to do the boycott. We're good at boycott. But what about the boycott?
That's right.
What do we do with those dollars that we're not investing now at that time in the Christmas season or whatever business or whatever, whatever entity we choose to boycott? Mm-hmm. What do we do with those investment dollars? Where do we take those dollars? And that's where this part of where the idea of the cash mob was born. Okay. And it's such a powerful idea because I think you said it, we said it here already, it's a cultural change. It's a mindset change. The fact that we have the idea that when we go to a black business that we're going to get poor customer service before we even go
there. Yeah,
that's a cultural problem. That's a mindset that needs to be changed. Because I went to Starbucks last night and we got a refund on the coffee. That was Starbucks. Mm-hmm. I've been to several businesses and have had poor customer experiences. My brother already mentioned that, so I don't have to go into that. The point is, we're trying to change the thinking of our people. And I want to add this to it and make it into a national movement. The cash mobs that are going on in Phoenix, we're not doing this to brag. This is not vanity. We want brothers and sisters to see us doing this around the country and do it.
That's right.
Repeat it. What happens when we create that economy? Brother didn't mention it, but a focus of our cash mobs was the black-owned beauty supply store.
Remember those?
To unite the black-owned beauty supply stores in the Phoenix area to create a buying power, an economic power where they can support each other. We don't know, some of us don't know, that a lot of these big beauty supply stores, like the Korean-owned beauty supply stores, are able to go in and buy in blocks.
That's right. Because when you buy in bulk, it's less expensive.
It's less expensive.
That's right.
And they have stipulations that if you don't purchase a certain amount, even somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a month in sales, that they don't discount the prices. See, and if you don't understand that that's what's happening in the backdrop, then we don't understand how to combat that.
Right.
So business is warfare.
Yeah.
And that's how we have to tackle business from a strategic and somewhat a military standpoint to determine how we're going to turn the tide on our enemy so that the dollar that's coming out of our community now goes back into our community.
So what I'm hearing, I mean, just from that tidbit right there, cooperation, collaboration, that's something
that's what we have to do. We have
Right.
to be strategic. Every resource out on the forward, what we just mentioned is critical, and most people don't think about it in those terms, and it may sound overly militant, but listen, when it comes to the beauty supply industry, the Koreans out in San Diego, they have it sold up where if you try to open a beauty supply store within a certain radius of where they are, the people won't sell to you. The
distributors?
suppliers,
Oh, really?
Yeah, the suppliers, because think about it. If they own 80 to 90% of the marketplace, and they say, we're gonna stop buying from you if you sell to anybody else. You sell somebody black, you sell to within
that
our
range.
area,
Yeah.
within our territory.
It's like drugs.
warfare. It's warfare.
They got the blocks covered.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's strategic.
Right.
But here's the powerful part. Once we're unified, once we have the mindset, because why do they have 80 to 90% of the market? 80 to 90% of the market is us.
Yes, right. But we're not the owners.
Exactly, but we're not the owners. So if they're no longer getting the support, if they're no longer getting the resources from our community going in and patronizing them over and over again, then they don't have any power.
That's right.
They don't have the ability to say.
And that's why they say, the power's in the numbers?
And then we got the numbers.
Yeah.
We got the numbers.
That's right.
We make their paychecks.
Right.
We make.
That means we can make our paychecks.
We give our power away to them.
Yes, we do.
Unnecessarily.
There's no sense in it's not sound. It's not sane for us in our own community to not control the economy of our own community, but we complain about poverty. That doesn't make sense. So you have to change the narrative. You have to control the economy and the flow. And those businesses that are in your community, they have to understand that if they're going to remain there, I'm saying that pointedly, if they are going to remain in our community, that they have to contribute
to our community, our schools,
our
roads,
to the development of our neighborhoods, to the betterment of our neighborhood. How can you allow a liquor store to exist in your community? You know that the liquor is killing the members of your community. Your brothers and sisters are dying from the poison, from the alcohol. They can't function. Children are losing parents, so on and so forth. And these same liquor stores are allowed to take the money that they make, put it in their pocket, and leave your community and not even contribute to a drug program. Not even contribute to AA meetings. I mean, to do anything to put back. That's totally irresponsible. But if you allow someone to treat you that way, that's the key. We allow it. And we don't take control and command of our own future, our own neighborhood, our own economy, our own education. All these things, they come into play. This is not a game.
Well, I think we're at stages, right? We're at stages because we've only been free, 50 years? Civil rights?
Well,
and we consider that free.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We can argue. We can argue whether or not we're free or not. We don't know if we haven't found the freedom.
Well, I'm saying we have the ability now. That's why I'm saying we're in stages.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So now it's the stage that we're aware that we have the control and that we need to exercise it.
Exercise.
That's right.
And change it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think about the season that we're in right now, and what we've just come out of, and what we've been doing. You know, and I was thinking about this the other day because it pains me so much that people that point at our community, point at us as a people, and talk about where we are, the condition, the struggle, and things like that. But you got to think about it. America has been slave holding longer than it hasn't.
Desmond said we are not free. We have liberties.
Desmond say that?
We have liberties.
But you got to think about it. When you look at the history of this country, it's been slave holding longer than it hasn't.
Right. Yeah.
So right now, it's like history is repeating because we're walking out of slavery. It's just like after abolition, we're walking out, but this time we're freeing our minds.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we have to add the narrative to this discussion that when they freed us, quote unquote, out of chattel slavery, they stifled economic development. Black people didn't come out of slavery and just sit around and wait for the next. No, we started building community. We started gaining
working together.
Power. And this is where the Ku Klux Klan and this type of mentality of terrorism and lynching came, because they had to put the slave back in check because the slave the slave was exercising economic and political power, developing his own community, towns like Rosewood, and all these things that we talk. Even if you want to talk about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I mean it's many years after, but still the point is, anytime we have worked to develop this idea of economic independence, it's been stifled with terroristic type methods. See? So it's always this instilling in us as a people to put us back in our place. That's the fight. That's the fight because we're comfortable. We're very comfortable. Before integration, before the trick of integration, we had our own hotels. We had our own transportation industry. We had our own restaurants, our own theaters, because we couldn't go to these other places. We couldn't even use the same water fountain. We know the history.
Right.
But now we've gotten to a point where we've become comfortable with quote-unquote acceptance in the dominant society. But now, with Kaepernick and the boycott of the NFL and the constant police killing, see, we're starting to wake up now and realize, though we're in America, we're not part of America. And that is the mindset that we're trying to capture and pull together now that we're waking up and say, okay, brothers and sisters, it's time now to do for ourselves. That's right. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep.
Stay woke.
We're not falling. Listen, we're not going back into integration. We have no desire to. We have no desire to. We have the ability to establish whatever we need for ourselves. Now we have to take advantage of that. And we have to strategize and organize around that and produce.
That's right. That's right. We got off on a tangent. But we also want to talk about, obviously the mission for the Phoenix LOC, freedom, justice, and equality. And obviously that conversation that we just went through was pretty much embodied, that mission. And how did you guys come together?
How did... Me and Ali or the Phoenix LOC?
Are y'all the Phoenix LOC?
So 20 years ago, 22 years ago, we had the Million Man March. We came.
That was
together,
20 years ago?
That was 22 years ago. We came together under the call of Minister Farrakhan. The backdrop is, in my understanding, the ministers, when he called for 1 million, it just came out of his mouth. And some say that if he said that if he had just got 50,000, he would have been happy. But 2 million men showed up on that lawn under the thought of reconciliation, atonement, reconciliation and responsibility. And the theme, if my people will call by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then shall I hear from heaven and heal their land and forgive their sin. Well, black men came under that type of theme and that type of mentality to say we're going to take responsibility for our own community. and we're going to make the change in our community ourselves. It was the most beautiful show of love and the most powerful demonstration ever put forth in Washington, D.C.
Did anything come from that?
Yeah. So crime went down. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but crime went down. Adoption rates went down. Black men left that march and they went back to their community, and they started being a part of organization in their community. Again, as I mentioned just a second ago, we started adopting black babies. And all over the country, the murder rate went down. So these things happen. But
through unifying. Yeah, unifying.
But 20 years later, we're looking at a new fight. Because we went from the Million Man March, the Million Youth March, the Million Family March, the Million More Movement, and then the 20th year anniversary was Justice or Else. Why? Because we've lost Malcolm, we lost Martin, Medgar Evers. We can run the road. Marcus Garvey put out of the country under false charges. Paul Robeson tortured and made into a villain. All of our leaders who have fought for us, for justice, equality in this country, either being jailed or assassinated, stolen from us. Then we turn at that time and we look at a tide, and now it's still there, of police brutality. They're shooting us 76 times. They're unloading rounds in us and not being prosecuted for killing us. Our sister Sandra Bland that they found in the cell said she suffocated herself with a bag. Our brother Trayvon Martin, who I believe was the one we heard screaming out on his life, went to the store to get some Skittles and Arizona iced tea, couldn't make it home because George Zimmerman felt like he was a threat to the community and killed that little boy. And we got to lift our young brother in Ohio where the police, Shamir, when he was playing with the little toy gun, they didn't give him 2 seconds, rolled up and shot him. We seen it. Our brother Castillo, who told the police officer that he was reaching for his ID, but he had a concealed weapon, and that man was shot in the car with his fiance and the little girl in the back. This is not a movie that we're watching. In fact about it, they become so bold, sister, that they make movies about how they kill her and get away with it. So we have not received justice in this country. We're not going to talk about the educational system because we're behind in that. We're not talking about the healthcare system because we're behind in that. But every avenue of life that you look at, there's no justice for us. So we said justice or else. People were afraid of the or. What are we going to do? We're going to go down to Washington, D.C. and tear Washington, D.C. apart? No. If you won't give us justice in this country, the or else is the local organizing committees. Not just the Phoenix local organizing committee, but organizing committees all around the country that agree that we got to mobilize and organize ourselves effectively to solve our own problems in our community. That's how we came together, finding like-minded brothers and sisters. We found Brother Ali. We found Brother Ali at the meeting. It's online. Where found me.
He was found. Where's Waldo? There he is.
Lost. Where we talked about the police not being allowed to kill us and walk away free. The chief of police was there, about 19 other police officers. We didn't hold back no words on what's happening in our country. But our brother came on board, and many others heard what we were about, what we were doing. Many agreed we need economic development. We need our own education system. We need to protect our own communities, make our own community decent places to live. We need to deal with health and agriculture and grow our own food. We have to now understand that the idea of independence must take root. Marcus Garvey talked about independence. Noble Drew Ali talked about independence. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about independence. And now the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is talking about independence. An independent people, a nation within a nation that has made the determined idea that we're going to go free.
So the thing about independence, I think a lot of people forget that you have to have accountability first. And a lot of our people are still looking for or trying to find that accountability for themselves. You know what I mean? As far as what they need to do for their families, what can they do for their communities? A lot of people just feel like it's out of reach. What do you say about those type of situations? How do they find accountability so that they can have independence? Does that make sense?
It's a mindset change. if we look at what's happening, there's no question in our minds that we understand that what's happening is not fair and just for us.
That's true.
But if we say to ourselves that we have to first be accountable, well, yeah, there's some truth to that. But it is not a this or that, or we have to do this first before we do that. No, that's not how it works. The accountability comes in when I look at my 5 children, and I understand that I'm accountable for their future.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm not going to sentence my boys to go through what 20 other generations before me have went through because I don't feel like, quote unquote, I'm accountable. There are nations all over the world. Look at Catalonia right now in Spain. There are nations all over this earth. The Kurds looking for their independence in Iraq. Go to Syria and Turkey and look at those who are fighting there. They're fighting for their independence.
Right.
See the opposite side of that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we condemn another generation to be not physical slave, but mental slave.
That's right. That's right.
And these things that we put up, they really become excuses. Let's just be honest. I had a sister today, and I'll be quiet, let Brother Ali add to the discussion, but she put on a post up about the PhDs coming together and going into the schools to teach children in classrooms. PhD, black PhDs, and many of them came on board and said they would do it. But let's go a step beyond that. Why do we continue to want to educate our children in an educational system that we know is failing our children? What is wrong with us that we don't take the educated among us and develop our own school system? Now you say, my brother, I don't know about that, but they do it all the time. These charter schools that you can't get into. They just in the South, I believe it was somewhere in Georgia.
No, Mississippi.
In Mississippi, where they segregated the school legally, with a white district separated from the black district. Now you leaving your children in school with books that your name's still in the damn book when you pick it up.
Just the lies in general.
Listen, they teaching your children in school that slavery was about farming. We were farmers and we immigrants that came over. We weren't no damn immigrants when we came over here.
Indentured servants.
See, this is the game that's being played. So we have to create our own. That's the point.
Okay.
So I get it, accountability. We got to stop being, I'm just going to say it straight, sis. We got to stop being so damn scared.
Not to.
The truth is we are afraid.
That's the truth. Speak the truth, brother.
And because we are afraid, our cowardice sentence our children to death. Police brutality ain't nothing new in our community.
I'm about to say, I know it's been going on. We just got cameras now.
Yeah, we got cameras. And we
got
said,
camera phones.
if we just had cameras,
yeah,
we can stop it. Now they're recording the shooting. And they still walking away.
That's crazy.
Now see, so let's just on that level. You can't think to protect and police your own community? There are Jewish communities in New York where they work with the police department. The police department is, New York Times did an article. And they talked about a particular incident where a Jewish man was beating his wife. The neighbors called the police, but because they were in this neighborhood where the Jewish men were responsible for the policing of their own community, the police, when they arrived, they called the Jewish police force. And when this is in the New York Times, you can look it up. When they arrived, they said, no, this is part of our custom. This is allowed. The man kept right on beating his wife.
This isn't a part of our customs. This is allowed.
This is allowed. And they didn't stop it. They didn't stop it. This is the reality. Right. I'm not saying that we should protect men from beating our sisters. That's not my point. My point is that if you have control of your own community, you can police your own community and you can end police brutality. You don't end police brutality by forming a citizens board and a citizens council. I'm sorry. It's the damn citizens that they're killing. You don't end police brutality by telling a police officer to put a camera on his shirt. You don't end it like that. You end police brutality when you say, God damn it, keep your hands off of my people. We control this. This is ours.
That's right. We don't end it by sending more people to go work for them. So they go behind the blue wall of silence and they have to go into that system and get corrupted and be one in a group of 100. That's not how we get justice. We get justice through independence and policing our own community.
So Liz Whitty wants to know who sets the standards for our independence as a people.
You set your own standard. Listen, we in government now. We just put a black man in office who sat in the highest office in the seat of the world. We got politicians. We have lawmakers. Whether you trust them or not, my point is we have the education and the experience for nationhood now.
Well, the thing about it is, like you said, we do have people in office, right?
Yeah.
But how do laws and whatever else get passed? Through funding, right? We have to have funding to be able to push through certain things. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So even though they're there, if somebody else is going to fund them to push through what they want, they're going to push it through.
Well, that's a different subject. Because if we're talking about independence, or the question understood was on independence, there's a way, though, since we're on that subject, to make them accountable.
They are interchangeable. They is interchangeable.
There's a way to make them accountable. See, we don't. This is where the accountability comes from, and the cowardice that we deal with. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna be calm, man.
Getting worked up. This is a good coffee chat.
when you talk about, and I'll come back to the independent, but when you talk about a politician that look like me, that's in office, that's gonna tell me that somebody else gave him some money to push a policy that's against me, put him out of office. Don't wait for the election. No, see, that's why you need soldiers and you need fearless warrior for your people that say to you,
and life insurance, and you need life insurance.
You say, listen, man, we put you in office for you to back up. Now on the back end, we got to do some things economically to push our agenda through.
Right.
But goddamn it, no amount of money should be enough for you to sell us out as a
Well, yeah, no, definitely not. But that's how the system is set up, right?
We got
for you to fund policies.
We have to
policies are funded.
We have to set up a different system. See, this is where we missing the point, and I'm sorry. This is where we missing the point. We're trying to think of how we're going to adjust to a system. Martin Luther King said he feared that he integrated his people into a burning house. This thing is going down. We're trying to figure out how we're going to find a place in something that's on its way down when the reality is God himself and destiny and time is dictating that we create our own reality.
That's true.
Stop thinking about how you're going to be a part of the white man's society, because he damn sure ain't thinking about how you should be a part of it. So if his mindset is to get you out of his society, why is your mindset on how I can become a part of it? The Asians ain't talking like that. The Italians ain't talking like that.
Well, most of the time Asians and other people who are coming from different countries, they're coming here as immigrants, right? So they're coming here with their own set of mindset that hasn't been misconstrued, I guess you could say. And so they're coming here and they're building, whereas most of us who have just been here, born here, are relatives of slaves or whatever the case may be. That's all we know.
Well, we have to see with new eyes. It's time for us to wake all the way up. Because if they can come into this system and use it for their benefit, create their own reality, create their own economy, police their own neighborhoods, we can do the exact same thing. We just have to let go of this fallacy, of this fake dream. That's just the reality. If we look at history for 30 seconds, we wouldn't even want to be a part of it. They killed Martin. Like, do you understand that? Like, they killed him. Like, why would we ever want to be a part of something that can do that? They killed Malcolm. Took them away from us. Like, do you understand where we'd be? I get that it's comfortable. I get it. I get that we want, 3% of our kids to have a better education. But do we understand what we could do? Do we understand the world that we create if we would just be willing to sacrifice? And that's what courage is about. It's like it's fear. Okay, the fear is there, but we have to overcome that fear. We have to overcome that. It's bigger than us.
That's where our belief comes in, right? In our faith.
Call it what you want.
Well, that's what they say. We have to believe. We have to have faith so that we can overcome.
You have to have the belief. You have to have the faith to understand it's a power backing you. My wife said something to me the other day, and I thought about it. Looking at our history with my son. She said, well, when we showed them Martin and Martin was killed, and we showed them Malcolm was killed, every time we show them one of our heroes, we show our hero either being assassinated for fighting for our freedom or thrown in prison. She said, so are we in effect in our attempt to instill in them the fight for freedom, instilling in them fear? I had to think about that. So then we have to learn to look, because a lot of the examples that they talk about Malcolm Martin from a soundbite, I have a dream, by any means necessary, but they don't show us the history. Okay, so let's look at history. Let's look at Haiti. Let's look at the establishment of the first independent nation from slaves. See, we have to be able to find examples in history where we won
Came
the
together,
fight.
yeah.
And we have to use that as an example to show our children. Listen, now, Donald Trump said it in his campaign. We didn't say it. Donald said it.
What did Donald say?
He said the American dream is dead.
Did he say that? Did he say that?
Yes, Donald Trump said it. You
He
can find
did?
the quote. You Google it. He said the American dream, he said it just like this, is dead. You know how he talks. So I couldn't make that up. Why is the American dream dead? Donald, you never had to live the American dream, Mr. Trump. You started out with a small $1 million loan from your father.
Trust fund. Trust fund.
So what do you mean? What he's telling, the same as he told black people in the campaign, we got mad at him. What do you have to lose?
You know, we got mad.
We got mad at him.
We did get mad.
But what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
That's right.
Not in putting your hope in a Donald Trump, but in your own future, controlled by your own black self.
Liz has another question. She says, so who we are is where we are. How do we change that dynamic? We are still talking about what we are, most of us already know. What steps are being made to come together, be on the same page, and design the big picture for where we need to go, working together to change, to build, to grow, to succeed for the good of all of us?
That's a good question. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
But I got to speak on something that my brother mentioned, and for your, because that's deep. Because we do refer to those that have fallen and the impact that they made, but when I think about it, I'll put it this way: what's the alternative? Right? What's the alternative if we don't do it? And two, especially for I just saw the movie about the Haitian Revolution, but regardless of what you believe, if you die, what happens to you?
Make sure you have life insurance.
Okay, well, sure.
For your family.
You're right. Take care of your responsibilities in this life and in this body. But do you think that your soul ceases to exist, or do you think that that's the end of you? Or do you think that there's especially for the Christian, we must not really believe what they say they believe?
They don't. They don't know that everybody has to be a martyr at some point.
Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. So you rather die in a car accident, or die getting shot by the police, or die from a heart attack from eating this unhealthy food? Like, take your pick. But I'd rather die establishing a new world that not just my people will benefit from, but this entire planet is going to benefit from. Look at the condition of the world, not just our people.
The world is in shambles.
The whole world. You got opioid crisis that's ravaging white America, just the way it ravaged black America. The people in power don't care about those poor white people. You got Native Americans, their infant mortality rate is almost as high as ours.
I know. Let's talk about that real quick. What's going on in South Phoenix?
So we have to put, and once again, it's fear and it's excuses, and it's real. I get it. I wake up in the morning and I have fear sometimes. I look at my kids, but we have to overcome that. We have to understand this time that we're in. We don't have an unlimited amount of time to do this. To think that we have another 50 years, another 100 years to play around. Look at the condition of the world.
Playtime is over.
So, if I can add to what my brother said and hit that question, I don't know what city you're the questioner is in, but the local organizer committee, that's what we do. That's why we're here. We ain't just here talking. Let's not make a mistake about it. We're organizing and mobilizing. We're not just organizing and stuck in the paralysis of analysis, but we're moving. So if you got skill and you got talent, even if you're not in Phoenix, if you're in Phoenix, come get with us. Or if you don't want to be with us, if we too revolutionary for you, find an organization that's doing something. Get your butt up off the couch. All these this Twitter fingers and Facebook fingers.
Twitter fingers.
We just you can say what you want to say about Donald Trump and his Twitter, but he get up. He go there often, he make policy change and it affects the world. So yeah, you can Facebook and talk about it. I understand the discussion has to happen. But then get with an organization, hopefully ours, or others who think like us. Or if you can't find an organization, get up and do it yourself.
There goes the accountability. So it does. Accountability to create independence.
We sit around too much.
Watching TV. I can't
Talking
stand
about
TV.
We don't have no real black leaders. What are you doing? You think that I'm going to sit and let young Minister Louis Farrakhan at 84 years old do all the work? I'm going to sit in the background and say, go ahead, brother minister, that's beautiful. You think I'm just going to see Umar Johnson live and hit the heart so we can say, go ahead, brother,
not hit the heart. Hit the hearts, hit the lights.
Get up off of your butt.
Get up off of your thing.
Get up, go into your community, go into what's wrong in your community, solve the problem yourself. You can do it. But a lot of times it goes back to what you said, sister. We don't have enough belief and we don't have enough faith. Even our own people, we don't have faith in our own selves. But we're doing it. I don't believe in that narrative that black people won't come together. I'm sitting with my brothers, a whole bunch more of us. We sit, talk this revolutionary talk, and we get up and we go out and we do work in our community. And that's how you do it, one step at a time. Do we know what we doing every time we doing it? No, we don't. No. We started a garden in the effort to bring agriculture to our community. We didn't know what we was doing, but we did it.
That's right. You just have to start.
And so I know you guys have some things coming up here this coming up weekend. The 28th, you guys are going to be canvassing South Phoenix, going door to door to talk about some issues that we're having down there with the infant mortality rate. You guys informed me that it's one of the highest in the country. And so you guys are going to be going down there to talk with some of the families, I'm assuming, to kind of...
Yeah, black babies are dying. The infant mortality, let's just be real about it, Let's just be real about it. And it ain't just the babies. They taking them out of the house. DCS is taking black children out of the house. This is a fight on all fronts. But you have to look up and look around what's going on with your people in order to understand the real situation. If you just in the house and you're looking at the phone, looking at the TV, and you're stuck in your bubble and you think, oh, everything is all good. Everything is not all good in our community. And we hold... For people that ask, what are we doing? What are you doing? We have the solutions. That's the thing. We have them. We know them. We are the solution. But we have to, whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that your interest is, whatever it is that your strength is in, put it to use. God didn't put us here to just
pay bills and die.
Go to work, come home. Yeah, to just pay bills and die. Like, we have to understand that.
Well, people don't know what their strength is. They think their strength is a word per minute.
Well, fine. It might be. We need administrative support. Real talk. Like, that's just obvious. Like, we need somebody to help us with that.
Everybody not going to go. And that's the thing, Shasta. We going into South Phoenix. You said it. One of the highest infant mortality rates. That's not the report. The report was it's the highest infant mortality rate in the country. Black babies are dying. They're not making it to the age of 1. Let's just let that marinate for a while. We're talking black babies. So what do? We're a grassroots movement. We're not reactive. We're proactive. We're not waiting for something to happen for us to do something. We just don't operate like that. And when things happen, just to be quite honest, we don't chase after every ambulance. Our mindset is to calmly, proactively work in our community, make a change. So if black babies are dying in South Phoenix, we're not going to wait for them to come to us to some conference room to hear. We're going to go knock on their doors. We're going to talk to them about preventive measures. We have. This is the first part of a two-part initiative. One part of the initiative, of course, is to knock on the doors, to survey our community, find out if they know what's going on, try to find out, because the biggest problem in the death of the black babies in South Phoenix is they don't know why.
It's not SIDS?
They don't know why.
Is it like, are they considering it SIDS?
It's a combination. They don't have
one root cause. So we got to go into the community and find out. And then the second part of it is to bring the professionals in, to bring the community together as a whole to combat this issue in whichever way we can in unison. That's an action item. So for those who want it, I got to put this plug, for those who want to do something, come join us on October 28th. Listen, you scared to go in the neighborhood? Don't be scared to go in the neighborhood and knock on your brother and sister's door and say, brother and sister, we love you. And your baby is our baby. And I'm not going to wait till it affects my family to do something. I decide, I'm talking for you who watching, I've decided that I'm going to get up now and I'm going to go and help another family, other families that look like me, and some may not look like you, but they suffer from the same condition. I'm going to proactively be involved. So
Accountability.
October 28th, we're going to knock on them doors.
What you guys doing on October 29th?
We just talking.
Talking like this?
October 29th is going all the way down. We wanted to create a forum, an outlet for truth to be told. Unashamedly. If people are familiar with the TED Talk type of format, like that's the kind of the general idea. But no hold bar. Like we want to. It's time for. It's time for people to understand the true reality of what we're living in, but also, not just stop at the problem, but understand what the solutions are. Understand things that could be done in order to bring about this change that we see. Like I think we are too dependent or too expectant on the government to do something.
Lord.
I don't understand why. We see what the government is doing, but we're still expecting government to take care of us when people are truly the government. But courage, like I said, it's an acronym for Coalition of Unity, Responsibility, and Group Economics. And if we would have the courage, overcome the fear, be unified, anything that we're able to do, we have a responsibility to do, and we would truly feel that way. And truly, be unified with our resources, with our power, because that's what it is. It's power, and we give it away. If we would truly be unified with how we spend our dollars, we can
make all kind of changes.
Overnight,
make all kind of changes.
Overnight, we would be free. It's not rocket science. It's not even that revolutionary. Everything that we're talking about is being done.
We just ain't doing it.
We just ain't doing it. And we're not doing it for our own community. We're building up everybody else's community.
We just ain't doing it.
So all we have to do is just understand where we really are. So Tramikas is speaking on the call for unity because we know that there are a lot of people that are out there working. And it's a beautiful thing, especially in a city like Phoenix, Arizona, to have so many people out there being active and working. It's amazing. It's just simply amazing to just sit back and see the work that's taking place here. But imagine if we were all together. Imagine if we were all together. And not in some pseudo what?
That's what Connect the Dots is about.
Oh, right. Connect the Dots. But, just all on the same page. And all and understanding where we're focused on, because we still have a lot of people who still have belief in this system, and so we're, in a sense, we're almost working against each other. But imagine if we were all working together on our independence. So that's the call for unity. Henry is speaking on changing the narrative, because if we listen to this media, we listen to this government and dominant society, we have believing things about our own people that ain't even true. Just like we're talking about with the black-owned business. That's a stigma out there that black-owned businesses are subpar when that's not even anything based in fact. So he's going to be speaking on changing the narrative. Our sister Havana is going to be speaking on redefining spirituality. Annika speaking on why everybody should buy black. I can't wait to hear that. And then I got a brother, powerful brother from Democratic Republic of Congo, and he's going to be talking about what's going on. His talk is called Saving Congo. He's going to be talking about what's going on in Congo, in a lot of ways, how we're contributing to the plight of our brothers and sisters over on the continent, but what we can do to help bring about change. So it's going to be a brief talk. It's at Evans on Van Buren. So we got the whole place booked out. We're going to have some food there for people. And
you got to have the food.
Huh?
You got to have some food.
Yeah, we have a little bit of food. There's a little bit of food. You know,
little snacks, couple snacks.
Right, grassroots. Remember that. But they will be open after the event so people can hang out and talk and connect and continue to build. And we want to do it regularly. We're trying to figure out what the schedule is. But we want this to be a regular thing because why can't Phoenix be, when we talk about a Phoenix Renaissance, why can't Phoenix be a hub for black thought, you know, and just radical ideas from black people? You know, the same way that Harlem was. You know, why can't Phoenix be that? So that's what we're trying to recreate.
Bring it together.
Because right now in this season that we're in, you know, we can do anything that we decide. We just have to decide.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here from the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee. We got Tramikas Muhammad, Ali Nervous. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Don't forget the Black Youth Theater.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, so the Black Youth Theater, November 2nd. Bring your babies. You can go to our page. You can find it. But we are doing our Kwanzaa course. We can have professional